Good day, dear students. In the last lecture, we saw about collecting bank or a collecting banker. Today, we will go through paying bank or a paying banker. We will continue with our Ram and Sham example, where Ram has given a check to Sham. Okay, first, a couple of important terms. So, we'll move on to slide 2. Who is a paying banker? So, the paying banker is the bank whose name is printed on a given check. So in our example, Ram issued a check of HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank is printed on the check. This bank pays the amount specified in the check to the collecting banker. So in our example, Sham had deposited the check in ICICI Banker, which is the collecting banker. So the paying banker pays the amount specified in the check to the collecting banker, and it does that by withdrawing that amount from the customer's account. So HDFC Bank would withdraw that amount from Ram's account. Okay. So a paying banker is duty bound to honor the payment after doing due diligence. So it is duty bound to honor the payment of its customers after doing due diligence. Okay. We move on to the next term. It is called a garnishee order. Okay. Now let me explain this with an example. Let us assume that A owes B a sum of rupees 25,000. A owes B a sum of rupees 25,000. So A issues a check to B. On the personal front, as far as A is concerned, on the personal front, he is divorced from his wife. And as part of court direction, he has to pay a sum of rupees 25,000 per month to her. Okay. Now let's assume that A doesn't honor this. He is not regular in making payment to his ex-wife. Okay, and it's quite possible that his wife approaches the court again. In such cases, A has issued a check to B, and this check has come to the paying bank. Okay, the court can order A's bank to redirect the payment to his wife. Okay, such an order is called a garnishee order. So basically what happens, the check submitted by B can be redirected to pay A's ex-wife. Okay, this is a garnishee order, and in such cases what happens, A becomes the judgment debtor. So A is called the judgment debtor. So as far as the court is concerned, he is a debtor to his wife. Okay, so his ex-wife or wife is the judgment creditor. Okay, and B, who was originally to receive the payment, his payment has been redirected, so B becomes the garnishee. Okay, having understood these two terms, we move on to the next slide. So what are the precautions that a paying banker needs to take? As discussed, paying bank is duty bound to make the payment on behalf of the customer after doing due diligence and after ensuring that the customer has enough balance in his account. So when a check is received, a paying bank has to check the face of the check to verify quite a few details. One is the date. See, it should not be a stale check. It should not be submitted after 3 months, after this has been issued. Then it has to match the amount in words and amount in figures and ensure there is no mismatch. It has to verify the sign of the customer. Then what else on the face of the check? It has to also check whether the check is crossed or whether there are any other specific instruction given. Okay, the banker has to also check for any manipulation or if there is some cancellation that's happened or something that he is observing, extra zeros added. These things are possible, right? Mutilation or damage to the check. So in such cases, it can refuse payment, or if it feels, it can send it to the customer with a comment asking for his verification. Okay, he has to also check the balance in the customer account, and in case a customer has more than one account with the same bank, while debiting the account, they have to be very careful which account they are using to debit the amount. Okay, So if these points are taken into consideration for precaution, the banker gets statutory protection. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic, what kind of statutory protection does the banker get? So in case of order check, bank gets protection if bank makes the payment to the payee or to his order. I mean, we know what an order check is, right? Or to his order as per endorsement. So if the payee says you pay to some other person who will collect the payment, then if the bank does the payment as per the instruction of the payee, then he gets protection. Okay. Now for bearer checks, transfer, I mean, do we really need to endorse? No, right? Bearer is any person who presents the check at the counter gets the payment. So for bearer check, transfer happens only by mere delivery. There is no need for endorsement. In case the check is in the nature of a bearer check, irrespective of endorsements, it has to be paid to the bearer. So if this is done, I mean, obviously, after all the basic due diligence about date matching and amount matching and signature and all, then banker gets statutory protection. Then for crossed checks, if due care is taken to deposit to the payee's account as per the instruction, because sometimes it is account payee, sometimes it is specific bank account where the deposit has to be made. So if this is taken care of, then there is no issue. Banker gets due protection, right? So similarly, even in case of draft, so if due diligence is followed, then there is no issue. Banker gets statutory protection. Paying banker gets statutory protection. Now there are situations where the paying banker is forced to dishonor the check or he can refuse payment. So what are the different situations? So we have already discussed, I mean, wherever there is a deviation like the amount in words, amount in figure, or there is an issue with the date or something, obviously he has every right to reject. So if he is even doubting something, he can and he should always verify the details with the customer and then only make the payment. Okay, but there are some ground rules where the paying banker can go ahead and reject the payment. So first situation is if the customer has countermanded the payment, or else this is also called stop payment order from the customer. So even before the banker makes the payment, if the customer has sent out an instruction about not making the payment, in such cases the paying banker can refuse payment. Then in case the banker has received a garnishee order from court. So the situation I explained just some time back when we explained the term garnishee order. So in such cases where the court directs the bank not to pay the payee and redirect the payment to someone else or redirect the payment to the judgment creditor, in such cases it can refuse payment. Okay. The other situation could be that the customer has died and the bank gets an update on that even before making the payment. So in such case it should defer the payment. It should not make the payment without any further confirmation. And then if the bank gets to know that the customer has become insolvent, okay, if the customer has become insolvent or has been adjudged insolvent by the court, then it should refuse payment. Or even if the customer has become insane for whatever reason, he is not in the right mental state, then also they should refuse the payment, because you never know under what circumstance he has issued the check. Maybe he was not in the right state of mind even while issuing the check. And of course, if somebody comes to the bank and says that they have lost the check and they had received and they show some proof or something, that is no ground to make the payment. So that is also one other reason where payment can be refused. Okay. The other reasons could be that the banker has come to know about the defect in title. So in the last lecture we had discussed about salary check given by X to Y loses it, and then Z steals it and gives it to A. So what happens? While A presents the check, if the bank gets to know that there is an issue with the title, A might not know, but bank gets to know, they can refuse payment. Okay, that is one more situation. And then of course, if there is any material alteration done to the check, I mean if it has got wet or the ink has got spread out or something like that, then they should refuse payment. And of course, if the customer has closed the account, banker should not entertain any more transaction through that account. Okay, so this is about paying bank. If there are any questions, please post it on the group, and so we'll continue with our lectures again on Monday. I'll share the details of the next topic. Thank you so much.